Hi you guys, my name is Kaylin and I am the Pivot Queen. No, seriously. Like and subscribe. Let's just start with that. If you are new here, welcome. This is my very first YouTube video, so I'm proud of me. I wanted to do this very first video just to give you guys a little bit of background about myself and a little bit of insight on how I made my first $1 million in my company. Now, I don't take that lightly. $1 million is a lot of money, but I definitely wanted to give you guys the inside scoop on how to scale your business to $1 million, especially as a hairstylist, because as a hairstylist, we're just hairstylists. So they say, you know, we go to school, some of us, shade, but some of us go to school, like myself. We get our cosmetology license, we do hair, and that seems to be the end all be all. Like, the best we can do is just be a hairstylist. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when I graduated from cosmetology school back in 2009, oh my god, I'm old as hell. 2009, I graduated from cosmetology school. I went and got my cosmetology license so I could do hair, because I'm thinking that's all that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to do it well, and I'm going to love it here, and I'm going to just be so happy. And if you are a hairstylist, then you know that that's all lies, okay? It's all lies. You're not going to just be so happy and live this beautiful, lavish lifestyle as a hairstylist. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips on how I pivoted my business. And my middle name, literally, my middle name is Pivot. It's K Pivot Coleman. That's who I am. Get into it. So I pivoted my business a lot of times, and I want to normalize pivots as entrepreneurs, and I want to normalize income dips as entrepreneurs, because no matter what you see on social media or whatever you're looking at, you're left and you're right, and you're like, how does she have this? Or, you know, what does she have going on? Why don't I have this lifestyle? You guys a little bit of glimpse into behind the scenes in my life and the things that I've had to do to get to where I am. Just to give you guys a little bit of context, yes, I'm a licensed cosmetologist and I started as a hairstylist. But when I realized that I was not making enough money as a hairstylist was when I made my first pivot. Okay, I said, this is not going to work for me. This is not enough money for me. I need to do something else to make more money. And I think it's in that moment. And if you're there, then you're in that moment. So use this moment right now to decide what you're going to do about it, because you cannot have the lifestyle that you want if you're not making the money to afford that lifestyle. Like, it's not going to work for you. So when I realized that I couldn't afford the lifestyle that I had in my head, and I'm talking about, I still have dreams about the jets and the big houses and the 5-car garages. I don't have those things. So I'm not done working yet. I have a lot to do. But it's when I started having those visions for myself that I said, okay, well, this is not it. And I have to do my first major pivot. And I pivoted from being a hairstylist, doing all the things. If you follow me, then you know I had to change some things around. And now I am an extension specialist. Okay, doing high ticket service offerings only. I think my cheapest service is $999. So that was my first major pivot in my business, and it really changed my life. After I started to do this service, I wanted to tell everybody about it, because at the time when I started offering this service, there was nobody teaching you, one, really how to do the service. Everyone was really just getting money. Like the stylists that I saw, they were getting money, but they wouldn't teach you how to do anything. They wouldn't tell you the secrets of their business. It was just like this secret society. And I was like DMing some stylists like, hi, can you teach me this? They wouldn't respond. It was like so shady. So I said that when I learn how to do something very well and make good money at it, I am going to teach everybody how to do the same thing. Like, that was my ultimate decision, was I was going to teach everybody how to do something, whatever it was going to be, if I can do it, right? So I wanted to make at least $10,000 a month. That was like, I was gonna feel lit AF, and I was gonna feel rich. Again, my mindset was a little whatever, but I was gonna be so happy with just $10,000 a month. I wrote it down a million times in my notebook. Like, if I could just make $10,000 a month, I would be rich. Like, in my mind, for real. When I made my first $10,000 doing luxury extensions, I had a party, no lie. Like, it was right in the middle of COVID. Well, COVID hit right when I had made my first 10,000. I'm gonna say 10 million. Oh my God, I haven't made it there yet, but manifestation. When I made my first 10,000, it was right before COVID hit. So I was like, I'm so lit. And me and my friend, we had a party, and then COVID hit. And I was like, what? Like, it hit me like in the gut. I was like, wait a damn minute. But hey, here comes more pivots. So COVID hit. I had a party right before COVID hit. I had the 10K balloon. My best friend, shout out to Koya, bought me some balloons. We got drunk. It was a whole thing. And I was like, yeah, this is it. And then when a COVID hit was when I said, okay, that little voice that was in my head saying, you should teach, you should teach. I was like, well, maybe we should try it now, right? In the house, I was bored out of my mind. And I got my iPhone out. Get you one of these. And I said, I'm gonna film the video on how to do this technique that I so love. Again, no one was teaching. I'm gonna be the one to tell you a little secret. I think, no, you know what? I know that I am the GOAT in education because no one was teaching but me. And now everyone's teaching, but you're welcome because I did that. I'm gonna coin that. I was the one that made it okay to actually share knowledge in our industry. Okay? If anybody asked, it was me. Anyway, sorry. I did the video on my iPhone of how to do the technique. And I put it on YouTube, a private link, and I sold it for like, I think it was like $100, literally. And people were buying it. And I was like, oh my God. I think I made $1,000. No, I know I made $1,000 that day. I sold 10 because we celebrated. Again, we love parties. So I made $1,000 that day. And I was like, oh yeah, baby. If I can make $1,000 from home, I'm really that girl, okay? I am her. I am she. We celebrated. I got drunk again. That was old days. This was years ago. I don't do that anymore, guys. So don't judge me. But I celebrated and I made $1,000 on my online course, which was very bootleg at the time. I filmed it on my iPhone and edited it on my iPhone and put it up on YouTube and sold it. I was so excited. I was like, am I pivoting again? I do it so often, but I do it in my industry, so I feel like that's okay. When I was making money behind the chair, I felt like I was good. I finally started making money. I was happier. I had, you know, more income to do the things that I love to do. I had less clients, which was great because I didn't necessarily want a lot of clients. I just wanted a nice handful of clientele, make good money, and go home. Like, duh. So I was happy. I was really probably my happiest then. Then when COVID hit and I started to do the online kind of classes, it was kind of bootleg. So I said, you know, when the world opens up, when the world opens up, because we were shut down, y'all know, y'all were there. When the world opened back up, I'm going to take my show on the road and I'm going to travel to different states and teach this technique. So here comes like another major pivot in my career that was another income stream. And it kind of just happened for me. I got my instructor's license back in 2009 to be a cosmetology instructor, but I got my instructor's license specifically to teach when I got old and tired. I already had that in the holster, but I wasn't really confident in teaching. I didn't think like I, knew it all. I just wanted to teach what I knew how to do and tell people, that I made good money doing it. So that was my motivation behind teaching. It wasn't that I felt like, oh, this is my time. I wasn't even really thinking about it like that. But what I do know is that, manifestation is real. And it's kind of like I manifested that in my life by taking that leap back then. Like I literally went right back to school after I got my cosmetology license, it was like, let me just go ahead and get my instructor's license out the way, you know. And it was like, I set myself up for this, you know. My advice to you is that if you want to do something in the future but you don't have all the resources, or you don't know how it's gonna like manifest, like start doing what you can do now to set yourself up for it, so when the opportunity does come, you'll be ready. That's my little tidbit for that. Go on the road, take the show on the road, baby. I'm going to Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. I'm everywhere, okay? And I started teaching people, and I felt so good about it. It was a great income stream. Plus, I knew I was helping people. I had women, I had men. Shout out to my men that were in my class. Hey, boo. Everyone wanted to learn, you know, this technique and create more freedom for themselves. And I knew that people wanted this because I wanted this. And I'm like, there has to be more of me out here. Like, I felt like there was more struggling stylists than not. So I wanted to change that, and I found like it was a lot of white space in that area because I couldn't find anybody that wanted to teach me. So I was like, well, I'm gonna teach everybody. And I made a lot of money in education. So just to kind of see how we're getting to like this $1 million mark, I was doing well behind the chair. On my best month, I think I made like $42,000 by myself, no help. I was just in that thing day and night because it was like really popular when I started doing the luxury extensions for my culture. Like, it was really popular and people were flying in from everywhere, and I had never had anybody fly in to come see me as a hairstylist, like just a hairstylist. No one flew in to see me. I was doing the locals. I love them, but I was doing the locals. When I became a luxury extension specialist, people were flying in from everywhere and still do. So I had that income, and now I have my educational income, right? So I'm teaching, and that was really taking me up because I was teaching so many classes, and every class I taught sold out. I mean, some days I would stay to run it back. Like, I'd be like, okay, Miami, I'm still here, I'm gonna stay another day, and it would fill up again. So it was crazy. I was like, oh my God, this is new for me because I'm starting to see, and I was getting so much confidence, but I started to see a different side of me. Like, I was getting the confidence that I needed to really be a boss, because before I felt like I was just a hairstylist. I wasn't like bossy, and I'm like bossy now, okay? On tour, literally in the middle of tour, one of my students said, hey, like, where do we get the hair from? Where do we get the tools from? Where do we get everything from? And I was like, like, and literally I like stopped in my tracks because I'm like, that's a great question. Like, I need to be able to provide you guys with all the things that you need to be great. And that's when I was looking at my sister. It's literally like my team is like me and my sister. So if you know, you know. Shout out to my sister. I looked over to my sister and I was like, girl, we got to do something. So I'm literally like on my phone scrambling, like trying to figure out, like, do we need like a vendor? Like, we have to like figure this out because they're asking for things, and I feel like I'm supposed to be providing these things for them. This is another income stream. Like, we're losing money here because people are learning from me and they're like, where do I get the hair? Where do I get the tools? Like, we want to get everything from you. So here comes another pivot in my career where I'm like, now I have to sell product. I was not selling any product. When I was in salon, I was only getting product for my clients, and I was buying it locally, retail, from a girl who had great quality hair, and I would just tax on like the service costs to the product and like charge the client, like, oh, this is how much your hair is, I bought the hair, you're good, whatever. But I didn't have like my own product line. I didn't have a retail store or anything. So when the girls were like, hey, where do we get the product from? I was like, okay, I have to figure this out. No one taught me how to do it, so I'm going like shopify.com. I'm like, okay, like, what is happening here? And we did it. We figured it out on our own, and I started a Shopify store. And God is so good. I'm in the salon. Like, this is literally my suite right here. So I'm working on this side, and I have another girl that's like, I hired to work with me because things got crazy in the salon. She's working on this side, and she's like, I have a vendor I think you'll like. And I'm like, okay, let me see it. So she gives me the vendor information. I order the hair, and when I say in love, still use the vendor to this day. Everybody loves that vendor, and it's crazy because like I didn't even know what she was giving me back then. I was like, yeah, girl, give me the vendor. Like, it was so, it's crazy. Like, I could Like, the vendor was amazing and still is. We've been using that vendor for 3 years now, and all the students, we created a wholesale program for them, and I had to find other vendors for like my tools. I'm on WhatsApp, I'm on Alibaba, I'm like everywhere looking for vendors to like get these tools with my brand name on them, the capes and everything. So I'm like in the middle of like another major pivot, and I know that this is going to be great for me because I'm like, this is another income stream. And if you know that one income stream is too close to none, and that's not going to work. We have to start bringing in and be open to the opportunities that are presented in our business and jump on them. If you see an opportunity, like, jump on it. Don't wait. Because you don't know how long the opportunity is going to be there. I go into retail, and now I have a retail store, which is a great income stream. So between in-salon, between education, and between retail, we hit, I think, $1.2 million that year. And it was those 3 things that really took me to a different tax bracket. And it ain't all fun and games in that tax bracket. I'll tell you that right now. It's not all fun and games. But it's possible. And I think back to like when I was just a hairstylist and I just wanted to make a little bit more money just to be able to like take the kids on vacation on spring break, and just to be able to just like buy a cute bag here and there, to now having a multi-million-dollar company with virtual classes, you know, retail, just in salon, multiple stylists working for me, and the business is going to continue to grow because I have the confidence now that I can do anything. I want to tell you guys, like, if you're in a space where I was, where you're just feeling like a hairstylist, and I don't say that as like a bad thing, but you're so much more than a hairstylist. Especially if you desire to be so much more than a hairstylist. I honestly believe a hairstylist can only make so much money because you are the money. Like, you can only do as much as you can do. So I transitioned from a hairstylist into so many other things that really took my business and my brand to the next level. And I highly encourage you guys to do the same. Okay? Like, I don't know what else to say besides get inside of this billion-dollar industry and cut you a big ass slice. Go in there, make it your own, find some white space, be creative, open that Shopify store if you haven't already. Go ahead and test out that vendor if you haven't already. Go ahead and film that class if you haven't already. Do it. You can totally do it. It fell in my lap, but I was not afraid of it. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. And I just did it. So I want to encourage you guys to do the same. I totally know you can because I did it. And I'm just like a girl from Atlanta who thought she was only supposed to be a hairstylist. And God was like, no, ma'am. There's so much more for you, and there's so much more for you too. So I made this video just to motivate you guys, to give you guys a little bit of insight on how I made my first $1 million and how many pivots it took to get there. So I encourage you to get into it. My name is K Pivot Coleman. Don't call me anything else because I am the pivot queen from here on out, okay? And I will make another one if I have to. So I hope you guys like this video. I'm gonna make more videos like this, but I wanted to just, you know, jump in here and do it scared because I don't know what I'm doing, but here we are. So like and subscribe if you haven't already. I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video. I have a list of videos that I want to make for you guys, so including a couple vlogs I'm gonna throw in there, but I want to give you guys a lot of tips on how to grow your business. I hope this helped. I will see you guys in the next video.